Sat. Look around. You guys, that's a trick question. That's
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Louis.
How you guys doing?
Morning, Louis.
Good morning.
Good morning. Fantastic.
That's
Hi,
awesome.
Louis.
Morning.
How's everyone's weekend, or how was everyone's weekend, I should say?
Good.
That's good to hear. Well,
Wonderful.
great, good. You know, I want to tell you guys something. You know, I really appreciate all of you being on here. I really do. And there's a lot of new faces all the time, and I'm really happy and grateful for that. But I want to tell you that I really enjoy these meetings a lot more, and I hope no one takes this offensively, a lot more now than I used to a long time ago. Because a long time ago, I used to have to spend my entire Sunday trying to come up and figure out what to talk about the next day. And if you guys are ever in a position where you're leading a group, you're going to feel responsible for making sure that you over deliver. And a lot of times I thought to myself, you know, what if I didn't have to prepare as much? And what if I just opened it up and I just went by what you guys needed, what you asked for, or maybe what I was being inspired by that weekend or that morning. And to be honest with you, a lot of times I don't know what I'm going to talk to you guys about. And I just I want to feel the pulse of the room, and I just want to feel like what you guys need. And I get inspired sometimes by something I hear 10 minutes before the meeting. And to be honest with you, today I was going to walk you guys through our EXP workplace where we actually have listing presentations, and you guys can get you literally use their listing presentations and edit your information in, or you can get inspiration from their listing presentations. It's an entire group that's dedicated to nothing but listing presentations. So if you're trying to break into the listing market, if you're trying to really go to that next level with listings, you know, this is a very good community for you guys to tap into, so you can see what other people are using. You know, I went through it, you know, briefly, and I saw some really outstanding listing presentations in there. So I know that, you know, when we come from a small brokerage, a lot of times, you know, we use the materials that are given to us. Even when we come from, like, even let's say a franchise, a lot of times we're really kind of like limited to maybe a few listing presentations that are floating around the office, because even franchises don't really share inter-office with other offices. They don't really share too much information. But if you tap into the EXP, workplace, and you go into the group, I'm going to show you guys right now, and you go into the group that's dedicated to nothing but, where is that screen? Yeah, if you jump into the group that's dedicated to nothing but utilizing there it is. So utilizing nothing but listing presentations, you're going to see something like this. First of all, the group is called EXP Listing Presentations. Okay, you can tap right into it and start using it right away. There are so many resources in here for different types of listing presentations you can use, and you can download them. You can get inspiration from them. Some of them might even be able to be edited by you. There's a lot of great stuff in here that's used by luxury teams. It's used by teams that are doing, you know, $20, $50 million a year in production, $100 million a year in production. Like, these are the kind of things that, you know, you guys have access to. So what I would do is really familiarize myself with what other people are using, you know, really tap into this and see where you can get inspiration from. All right, so that's number one. But number two, I was thinking to myself, you know what, I want to open up the meeting today with, obviously, I always throw somebody on there for you guys to listen to while everyone kind of piles in. You know, it takes everybody about 5 to 10 minutes to get in here. And I came across this really great video on Branko's channel called Become a Powerhouse Listing. And this was an event that was recently had. I think it was just recently this year. And this guy, Pete Middleton, I don't know if you guys have heard of him or know who he is. I've heard the name be thrown around before in the EXP ecosphere, but I didn't really know what type of, what kind of production this guy has done. He's sold over $2 billion worth of real estate. You know, he's probably the luxury guy at EXP Realty. So which leads me to ask you guys the question, you know, do you guys want to hear what this guy has to say, and maybe we can tear it apart a little bit? Do you guys want to maybe talk a little bit about what's going on with your business before we tap into anything else? Let me know how you guys feel. What do you guys want to do today? What do you guys want to cover? Do you guys want to tell me? First, let's start off with obviously some wins or what happened over the weekend. Has anyone has any information to share? I've got a little story to share with you guys. This is really cool, but I'll leave that till a little bit later. Anybody want to share any wins or have any questions or any or any really cool news you want to share with us?
Well, it's Belinda. I hit
Hey,
a
Belinda.
mental reset button on Wednesday.
Okay.
I just packed everybody up and drove down to Panama City Beach,
Oh, good for you.
and we stayed there till Saturday.
Nice. How did that feel?
Letting the water speak to you, amazing. So that's the area that I feel right now I'm going to plant my Florida license.
Oh,
But
nice.
it was a good mental reset. I know we talked about this before.
Yeah.
But at that time where I had 2 hours to myself, I went on to EXP University.
Mhm.
If nobody else has gone there before, there's a two guys, I don't remember their name, but their meeting was called Show Your Work.
Yeah.
And that spoke volumes to me.
Show your worth.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. And what
Thank
they just handle one client at a time. And what they do is that they video chat everything so that that one client feels amazing. So when I came back yesterday, I started doing that, and I can't believe the responses.
So now you're video chatting with your clients instead of just calling?
Instead of just calling, I'm going in, showing property and just showing them a glimpse. Like, and one of my clients' name is June. I said, hey, June, I went into this property and I thought about you, and I
Mhm.
just showed her a little bit of it and cut it off, just gave her 15 seconds of a video and sent it via text.
Okay.
And she called back immediately. And
Oh,
this was a pretty much a client that did not want to do anything until the fall. But now she's piping hot ready. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it works.
That's good. I
So,
mean, I've heard
yeah,
of people doing that.
working slow leads like that. Just go into a property and say, I'm thinking about you, and sending them a message.
Talk about personalized communication, because nowadays people have a hard time distinguishing between what is a real person and what is a bot, or what is a program that you're using to keep in touch with them. So that little added personal touch is really, really important. That's awesome. Good for you. I like that it's working for you. This guy, Brent Gove, you guys, I'm sure heard his name before. Actually, a lot of the agent attraction he does it via text, but he doesn't do it like you would think. He actually records himself and sends the text with the video. So just like you, and he said it works tremendously. It really does make a big difference.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Anyone else want to share any wins?
I have a listing. I got a listing this weekend.
Oh, is this your first?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
How
Thank
did
you.
you get it?
Do you really want to hear the story?
Yeah, tell
And
me.
when you're done, you can tell us what the listing is, because we all kind of have buyers.
Okay. It's not as fancy as the one that John gets. It's just a fixer up. So this guy was he was my client. He was a buyer.
Yeah.
And he's an investor.
Mhm.
So I was running with him for 2 months to get him a property.
Yeah.
He restricted me to look anywhere outside of Piscataway.
Okay.
I did put in many offers for him. The last one, it was $100,000 over asking. We lost it.
Wow.
So I was quiet for 2 weeks maybe, because I didn't have anything to show.
Mhm.
I called him and he had bought a house
Oh, wow.
from a wholesaler.
Uh-huh.
So when I called him, he was like, oh, I'm sorry, Sarah, but I already bought a house from a wholesaler. So I said, oh my goodness, where? He told me Brick, New Jersey. I said, if you would have told me, I would have got you a house there.
Yeah.
But anyways, congratulations, you owe me.
Uh-huh.
And when you want to list this house, it better be with me.
Yeah.
So he did call me a month later and he said, I'm ready to list, come look at it.
Okay.
So because he was shady, I made sure that I treated the appointment as a listing appointment.
Mhm.
I took all the paperwork with me. I filled out everything, including my commission, and I went to see him. So I made sure that I don't leave there before he signed. He wanted to he said 5% is a lot and I should do it for 4%.
Mhm.
So I said no. So he said to me, you know, I have another realtor that I sell my listings with. So I said, so why am I here?
Yeah. Wow. I love
And
that.
he said, Yeah, so he said, because I love your energy and my realtor is very lazy. So I said, okay, then I'm worth the 5%. He said, no, just do it for 4.5. And I'll bring you to every listing I have. So I said, okay. So I left with the listing 4.5%. So I'm keeping 2.5 and I'm giving the buyer's agent 2.
Okay, all right, I can see how that works. That's good. So you're gonna get all his listings now as well. That's awesome. Good for you. That's how it starts. Too bad you didn't get the buy side on that, but at least you're getting the listings. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank
Anyone else want to share anything?
Just want to jump in real quick. If anybody else is having trouble with EXP Enterprise, it's triggering a pop-up now. So your pop-up blocker is being triggered. So release your pop-up blocker for EXP Enterprise. They did some kind of upload last week where that's happening.
Yeah, thank you. I think Chris was having a problem.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Anyone else? Cool. All right. I'll
Hi,
tell you.
Louis.
Hey.
Hi, it's Anna. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How's it going? How are
Okay,
you?
it's good. I'm out walking and heading to the gym, so it's a little noisy out here.
I love it.
So I have, I don't know if Jermaine could talk right now, but I have an agent on the phone, on the call right now. He was a client of mine, and I know he's always had his interest in real estate. He went out, he got his license, and he's now with EXP, but he's based in New York.
Nice.
So I just wanted to welcome Jermaine to the call, and I'll send you his email, and hopefully we can add him to the future meetings.
Absolutely. Welcome, Jermaine.
He might be at work.
That's no problem. And welcome to anyone else here who's new on the call. I love having you guys here, and obviously we all will learn and grow from each other. So being here is definitely good for your business. So I appreciate you guys doing this the first thing that you do during the week. It really does set the tone for the rest of the days you have left. So quick story I'm going to tell you guys before we decide where we're gonna take the training today. A quick story I want to tell you is that I was out walking last week with my daughter. We went out she wanted to go rollerblading. So I took her to the park, and we go rollerblading here in Naples in this park not too far from the house. And I saw this young kid. He looked like he was trying to record a video, but he didn't have a camera or a phone in front of him. So I came to realize that he was practicing before recording a video. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I like his hustle. It reminds me of myself. Sometimes I have to go out and in public and record a video. And as I'm walking past him, he comes up to me. He's like, excuse me. And I'm like, oh, okay, probably need some help. Maybe he needs help with positioning his camera or something. He said to me, he's like, hey, aren't you the guy from YouTube that does the videos about Naples? And I'm like, oh yeah, how you doing? Nice to meet you. So I get that a lot here in Naples because I guess my videos get recommended to people from Naples a lot. So this kid's like 22 years old and like exactly the same age I was when I got started in real estate. So it kind of like really struck a nerve with me, or kind of, I say, not in a bad way, but in a good way, where I felt like I really felt for him. And I was like, oh, he reminds me a lot of myself. And he was like, hey, I've been watching your videos and I've been trying to do the same thing as you. I've been trying to make videos about living in Naples and moving to Naples. And I really, just kind of getting started, is there any pointers you can give me or any advice? And I was like, yeah, man, of course, I can give you a lot of advice. I said, but, I'm out with my daughter right now where I'm taking her rollerblading. Why don't we just have like lunch or coffee next week or something? And then I'll teach you, what I know or what you need to know in order to get started. So he was really, really excited. I'm glad that I can make a difference in his life. But that's not the crazy part. The crazy part is the fact that, I felt like, this young man, he'll really benefit from me helping him. And if he decides to, join our organization, great, that's even better. But as I left, I kept thinking about him, and I'm like, you know what, let me send him a text message and I'll ask him to, hook up next week. So he's like, so yeah, we're gonna have coffee or lunch this week. But on Sunday, when I went to church, I was taking my daughters to the check-in where the kids go to their section. And the girl who was checking in my kids at church said, oh my God, I heard you met my brother at Vineyards Park this week. I'm like, your brother? I was like, Christian is your brother? And she's like, yeah, he's my brother. I was like, why doesn't he come to the church? He said, because he works weekends so he could do real estate during the week. So he's not able to make it here. And I was like, so you're telling me that the kid I just met a few days ago is your brother? And like, I don't know if that's coincidence or what. Like, it was just really crazy how that seemed to have happened. And I said to her, I was like, when God really wants two people to get together, he really makes sure the two people get together. So he kind of just, I guess, sealed that, that whatever the idea I had in my head to help this young man. So it was crazy how it ended up being, because she is usually not the girl that checks people in. It's usually somebody else. But I guess this week it just happened to be either her turn or she was filling in for someone. And it was really, really nuts. And she told me that, her brother's just getting started. He needs a lot of help, but he's really motivated. So it was amazing. I just wanted to give you as that quick story as a testament that, God is he's working in your business, and he's always working in your lives, but sometimes we don't realize it or we don't see it. But I will tell you, he'll put the right people in your path, and he will also give you the right opportunities. We just have to be ready to receive them. So yeah, that cool story. What do you guys think? Was that fate, or was that God working?
God working.
God working.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Got working, bro.
nothing's by accident.
Great story.
Either. I don't think so either. All right. So yeah. So what do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to go through some of these listing presentations and tear them apart, or do you guys want to hear what Pete Middleton has to say about how he got to become a $2 billion sales agent, selling over $2 billion worth of inventory? What do you guys want to do?
I vote for Pete.
Yeah.
I'll go for Pete as well.
Yeah. Let's hear what he has to say, because I'm sure he's a wealth of knowledge, and this just came out recently, so it's fresh. It's brand new. All right, so let's enjoy this, guys, and then we'll stop the video maybe 5 to 10 minutes before our hour ends, and we'll tear it apart and we'll see what we've learned. Maybe we'll have to break this up into 2 weeks, because it is an hour plus video, so we probably have to do it within two consecutive weeks. Cool. All right.
That's how East Coast people work, right, Gil? We have trick questions. I'm asking that question because you should never be satisfied where you're at. You should always be growing. You should always be educating yourself. You should be taking people like Gail and Val for drinks and get them drunk and ask them all their secrets. I'm telling you, it works. You guys, these are inside tips. People pay a lot of money for this stuff, all right? That's how you get the gold. Buy people drinks. It's truth serum. They'll tell you everything on the face of the earth. But really, here's the deal. When it comes down to real estate, I grew up in real estate. And I was never formally trained. So I'm going to say that again. I was never formally trained in real estate. I know you guys may be sitting there, you're looking at your watches. Everybody's got to pee. Everybody's looking at their phones. They're like, I have 9 calls. What's up with this guy? He's got a Boston accent. He lives down in San Diego. He's slinging luxury real estate. Why should I listen to him? It's a great question. It really is. I'm not saying I'm the answer. I'm just the deliverer of the message. What you do with that message is your own decision. You can either advance your career and take the tips from the people who've been down the path, because I'm not going to share with you anything that I haven't done or I wouldn't do. I'm going to give you all the gold. You don't have to buy a course. You don't have to take me to dinner. I'm asking for nothing, because James and Brent wanted me to come and share with you guys what I've been doing to be successful. Okay. And success leaves a pattern, right? That in any type of sport, any type of business, success leaves patterns. That's a big, big thing. Okay. Everybody has a common question in their mind. Real estate's a mind game. I always tell people, you just have to conquer 7.5 inches. That's it. It's a mind game. Because what you believe is what you'll achieve. So if you get frustrated and you put out in the universe, nothing's happening, I get nothing going, nobody's accepting my offers, nobody will list their house with me, I'm going to give you the news. Is it okay if I'm honest? You guys can take some Boston honesty? Okay, that's exactly what you're going to get back. Stop doing that. Flip the switch. Set up the week, set up the day. Win the day, you win the week. You win the week, you win the month. You win the month, you win the quarter. You win the quarter, you win biannually. You win biannually, you win every year. Get into the mental mindset. You don't have to do everything perfect. Everybody out there has a natural skill, right? Gail's way better than me with blow drying her hair and taking photos and living like a rock star, right? I may be having a different set of skills. Go to your strong suit. So here's a little tip that I can share with you, and do this today. Don't wait, okay? Make a list of everything you do every week. Now, your brain is going to play a trick on you. Your brain's going to say, hey, Pete, you're the only one who can do these things. I got news for you. No, I'm not. Or your brain's going to say, nobody can do it as well as I can. Or I don't have time to share with anybody how to do this. Right? True statement? Because everybody is what? Let's say it at once, because we're never going to say it again. Everybody's what? I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you. How often do you hear that? You're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing your clients a disservice. You're doing your friends a disservice. You're doing your family a disservice. You got to end that shit. Excuse my language. You got to end it. Because when you tell people you're busy, the only person you're satisfying is your insecurities. That's it. Hopefully that hits you. The more people you tell that you're busy, the less busy you're going to be, the less business you're going to have. Because everybody is going to use it against you in this market, you guys. You have to remember, I've been through all these markets. This is my 30th year licensed. I know you're calculating. I started when I was 3. All right. Everybody is thinking the same thing. Oh, they're so busy, so busy. Talk to people in any industry. That's what they love to do. Oh, it's so busy. I can't even breathe. So busy. Really? How are you staying alive? Right? Stop telling people you're busy. Tell them you're scheduled. Tell them you're professional. And say this, and this works. It's important for you to know. I'm never too busy to help any of your friends, family, colleagues to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. Once again, it's important for you to know. I'm never too busy to help your friends, family, and colleagues buy, sell, or invest in real estate. You guys, keep saying that. That's what they want to hear. You don't have to be at everybody's beck and call. The iPhone was one of the greatest inventions and one of the worst. You know, when I started in real estate, and I'm going to share with you guys, I know that's the slide there. I didn't know, but I'm going to read it. You know, how to break into and build and benefit from a luxury real estate business. This is what I specialize in. It's up to you if you want to put in the work. Who's the young guy who stood up and said, hey, awesome, great statement. You're right on. You got to put in the work. You can't work 3 hours a day in real estate and have a breakthrough. You can't. I'm just letting you know. All right, I've tried it. It doesn't work. So you have to really look at it and say, what's preventing me from going to another level? What's preventing me from having a breakthrough? You know, where do I want to go with this? Am I a part-time realtor? Am I a full-time realtor? Am I a full-time professional? Am I a rock star? Am I going to emulate certain people? What are you going to do? Because the sky's the limit on whatever you want to do. It's your business, right? I met with a gentleman last night, and I'll tell this quick story. I love him to death. Dave Lawson, he's out of Park City. He runs a team there. They have already done 200 million in the first quarter. Who wants 200 million in the first quarter? Right? Because Park City is on fire. He never tells anybody he's too busy. He said, Pete, I have a lot going on. I said, yeah, I got it, you know. But he shared with me, I said, Dave, give me some gold. What separates you from everybody else? Because in that town, there's roughly 10,000 houses. There's 4,000 realtors. So let me, anybody good at math? 10,000 houses, 4,000 realtors. He said, I go to dinner and there's 3 realtors in the same restaurant. So how do you stand out? What's your value proposition? I know you've gone to Mike. I know you've gone to Tom. I know you've gone to Brian Buffini. I know all those guys. They're great guys. They're great coaches because they keep people accountable and they mentor them, you guys. I'm sharing the gold. I'm in production. I'm not up here preaching, playing golf every day or anything. I'm in production. So how are you going to separate yourself? Let me give you some tips. All right. You can use this today. Copy it. Everything in real estate's copied. I'm just letting you know. Cat's out of the bag. All right. Everybody thinks they invented it. Nobody invented the wheel. Nobody invented the sign. Nobody invented the escrow. It's all copied. All right. But it leaves markers. You have to pay attention to those markers. So here's the deal. Do you know the averages in your market? Do you know the list price, sales price? Right now, it's probably above. But in a typical market, go back 36 months. Look at how many houses have sold in Sacramento or the greater Sacramento area. How many days on market? And then take your 3 years of sales. I don't care if you have 10 and put them up against that. That's a value proposition. So when I go in and I go in for a listing, I went the other day for $6 million, and this is me not grandstanding because I'm up here. I'm just telling you guys the truth, because the truth is the easiest thing to remember. You don't have to make up stories. People like authenticity. They like truth, okay? And when I went in, what's the first thing I did when I walked in to get the listing? Can anybody tell me? I know it's a vague question. Does anybody want to take a guess? I wish. If I had hair like Gail, I would. Look at some great ideas. Picture of the house, blow dry my hair. No. Statistics, on time. These are all parts of it, you guys. Now I walked in and I listened. You hear me? I listened. I didn't listen to interrupt. I listened to get information on best how I could help these people get to where they want to go. Because there's two factors when you're listing luxury homes. There's a motivation factor and there's a time factor. That's what you're dealing with. Either one can switch how everything works. So you have to understand your audience. You have to understand the presentation that you're going to give. And you have to ask questions. You have to listen. Most people don't listen. They're on their phones. They're looking at the sky. They're checking out seagulls. They're looking out the window, right? It's true. You know, let's cut the bullshit. This is true. You want to make money? I'm going to show you. This works. And you just keep asking questions and you drill down till you find their pain or their motivation or their timeline or why they're doing it. We've gone from a generation of realtors over the last 30 years, you guys, where the old school used to be, hey, I'm Pete Middleton, I'm great, I'm a GRI, I'm an ABC, I'm an SDS, I'm an CHLMS, I'm #1 in the nation, I'm 10% of the nation. They don't give a shit about any of that. Because guess what? The realtors don't even understand what it is. Get rid of all that nonsense. Make it about the people. Think about this. We've gone from grandstanding to the generosity generation. How can you make this the biggest win of my life? That would be my first question to all of you today. How can the time we spend together be the biggest win of your week? Right? Think about that. If you walk into an appointment and you say those words, you're going to win. Because people love that. That's like gold. You know? How can I help you? How can I make this the biggest win for you and your family so that your family benefits, that it changes your future, that your kids go to college for free, that you can retire early? That's what I specialize in. And I'm going to map it out. I'm going to hold your hand and I'm going to walk you through it because we do this every day. We're on the front line 24/7. It's a grindy business, right? Everybody understand what I'm saying? It's not an easy business. Everybody thinks it's easy because the two reasons people get into real estate are freedom and money. I'm telling you right now, they don't mix. It does not work that way. You have to apply yourself. It's a profession. It takes time. It takes consistency. This is a business of repetition. It's recognizing problems before they happen and finding solutions. That's what we're paid for. We're not paid to put a sign in the yard. We're not paid to open up a door. We're paid to protect our clients and really manage the transaction. So rule number one, when you talk to me, can't use the word busy. I'll light you up. I hate it. All right. Change your mindset. What's your vernacular? Do you look at yourself as an agent? Why? It's not a bad word, but why don't you elevate it? Are you advising people? It's the largest asset they have, you guys, outside their kids. All right. We're in the top 3 in life. Top 3. Food, water, shelter. Food, water, shelter, you guys. I didn't say Apple. I didn't say Facebook. I didn't hear Tesla. I didn't hear Amazon. I didn't hear Microsoft. Food, water, shelter. That's why real estate is the greatest business in the history of life. Right? If you don't believe it, you shouldn't be in this room. Everybody's wealth comes one way, directly or indirectly, from real estate and from ownership. Okay? Just remember that 99% of the wealth is attributed to real estate. Most of the people in the affluent markets have multiple houses. It's dynamite. We don't have to store it. There's no expiration date if you do it right. It doesn't go bad. You don't have to micromanage it. You just have to pay attention to it. You want to be different? Here's a gold nugget. Because I'm being so generous. Because I believe in the more you put out there, the more it comes back to you. I really do believe that. Answer your phone. That's all you got to do. You guys answer your phone. I got a $7 million list. You know what the guy said? I said, hey, I'm just kind of curious. Why'd you pick me? He goes, you answered your phone. I said, awesome. All right, sign right here. Great. That's all I need to hear, right? Pay me my money. I'm going to sell it. Answer your phone. If somebody calls you, return their call. If you're in a meeting because you're not what? Because you're not busy, you're what? Scheduled like a professional. This is going to give you your life back. Return their call. Just text them and say, hey, I'm currently in a meeting. Can I get back to you? That's it. Because when you're doing this business, you have to be in tune with what's happening and what you're doing. All right, so let's get to the value proposition. Look up your numbers. Data is power. Numbers are power. Numbers are not prejudice. Numbers don't care if you have a $1.5 million house or a $200,000 house. Numbers don't care if you've been in the business 2 years or 50 years. It doesn't matter. Numbers, hard numbers are where it's at. People want data. What they're saying to you when they say, why should I hire you? You have to take that down. That's a takedown question. So let's try it. Why should they? So the guy said to me the other night, why should I use you? I said, that's a great question. So happy you asked me that. Right? I said, because based on the average down in San Diego County, the average price right now is 2.9 million. I know all you guys sitting there go, wow, that's 2.9 million problems. The more people pay, the more they want access, the more they have issues, the more complaining, right? Bigger the price, bigger the problems most of the time. I said in the past 3 years, this is how many houses have sold in San Diego County. This is the average price. I deliver to my clients 3.7% higher. So, Mr. Seller, on a $150,000 commission, 3.5% higher on that is roughly around 50,000 more in your pocket. He was like, wow. I said, the average days on market were 28. My average days were 16. So you're going to save on tax. You're going to save on your mortgage payments. You're going to save on how you take money and make it work because it's not leverage. You're going to get it out quicker. These are all things we talk about. You know, I have a database right now of 26,000 active buyers. I have a network of over 2,000 high-end realtors globally. who have people looking all the time. These are all value propositions. I have exclusivity with Realm. I have exclusivity with other companies, and I explain those and how that's going to benefit and expose their property worldwide. Because you guys think they're worried about the property around the corner? No, it's all about them. It's a me generation. What are you going to do for me? Why should I pay you? Two people walked in behind me, and this is where real estate's going, just so you know. They walked in behind me. One offered to do the whole listing for 3.5. Another one offered 4%. That's where we're trending. We are going to have a slowdown. Shifts happen, right? Everybody loves to say that. Shift happens, right? Gail knows. It's coming. All trees don't grow to heaven. But the public is always 6 months behind. They don't get the data that we get in real time. And it's all perception. So you need to know how to speak to people on their level. Speak on a 3rd grade level. Seriously, they'll pay attention. If you don't believe me, I talked to my 3rd grader. He's more articulate than half the people in my office. Right? That's the key. So that's what I'm going to share with you guys. Have a value proposition. Because right now, I know you're sitting there, and in your head, everybody has a question. Everybody has a question. That's the most common question in their head every day. They're all different. This isn't a trick question, but it's something you continuously say over to yourself. I'm not good enough. I'm not doing enough business. I'm not where I need to be, right? We're all guilty of it. Give yourself a break. Be nice to yourself. Be kind to yourself. This is not an easy business, but be a professional. Look in the mirror. Have you looked in the mirror and said, I'm all in. I'm fully committed. Am I doing everything I need to do? Ask yourself that and be honest. Because if you're honest and you do what you need to do, you'll get Gail and Val's results. I guarantee it. You got to do what they do. It's called commitment. It's called drive. It's called passion. It's called authenticity. It's called caring about people and helping them solve things and be involved in their lives. That's what it's about. Real estate is about relationships. Okay? If you're leading with money or splits, hey Gail, what's 0 of 90%? What's 0 of 80%? Has something changed? I've been doing this 30 years. 0, you guys. But nobody wants to accept that. I can go here, they give me 100%. Whoop your shit. You don't sell anything, it doesn't matter. All right? I can guarantee you one thing, it's not 100%. They're gonna charge you something, unless they're 501(c) and they're a nonprofit, and they're not making a profit. I said that to one of my clients the other day. He said, hey, can you sell my house for free? I said, free? Why don't I sell it and I'll give you all the money. I'll give you money to allow me the honor of selling your house. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? And he goes, really? I go, no, really. You're out of your mind. This is how I provide for my family. You got to be kidding me, right? Because you got to draw some lines, but you got to be strategic. You got to know how to pivot. I said, I'm not a 501(c) yet. I give a lot of money to charity. But I'm giving money to one charity. It's called the Middleton Trust. I got to take care of 2 kids and a wife and 3 dogs, right? That's it. And I said, what's more important to you? Getting the most money and netting the most money, or negotiating with me and de-incentivizing me to get you the most money? What's the most important thing to you? Ask those questions, you guys, because they're all testing you. Because there's a lot of non-professionals out there, and I'm not knocking anyone. Everybody has their own skill level. They're doing their own things, all right? Don't be involved with what they do, okay? I'm gonna give you a quick kind of synopsis where I came from. Chris, I love him to death. I love his suit, it's awesome. Thanks, Chris. It was kind of a half-ass effort on trying to explain where I came from, but I appreciate it. I'm not knocking Chris, but I was like, damn, he's stealing some of my thunder, right? I gotta tell the story. And I'm gonna take you guys back in time. We're gonna do a little experiment to get your mindset right, okay? And I'm gonna share this with you. So I started in December of 1992. Now let me pre-frame that. I grew up in a real estate family. I grew up in a place called Brockton, Massachusetts. Has anybody heard of it? Is anybody familiar with Rocky Marciano? World heavyweight champ, right? Only undefeated heavyweight champion. He's from Brockton, Mass. Has anybody ever heard of Marvin Hagler? Marvin Hagler is from Brockton, Mass. Tells you what type of city it is. It's called the City of Champions. I love down from there, you guys. It's not a great city as far as cities are set up. It's a tough city. But when you're in a city like that and you have roughly 5,000 realtors in a 10-mile radius, you got to scrap. It's a street fight. And you have to create skills to know how to authentically and genuinely deal with other people's personalities, other cultures, everything. That was my training ground. There was no formal training. I was going to the office with my father, who was in real estate. He started with nothing. And my mother, I used to go every weekend with them from the time I was 8 till the time I was 22. Then I joined his office. And I said, hey, Dad, I'm so excited I got my license. He's like, oh, yeah, it's going to be great. You know, he's an all-time great realtor. Oh, it's going to be dynamite. Yeah, you're going to kill it. You've been here all the time. Yeah, we're going to get it going. Right? Give me all the pump ups. Yeah, it's great. Everything's great. Great. I said, okay, what do I do? He goes, oh, you got to figure it out. He had no training. I said, what the hell are you talking about? He goes, you've been counting with me for 12 years. You know by now. I said, 12 years, I've been emptying trash cans and answering phones and putting up signs and running neighborhoods and dropping off flyers and getting the cream. I mean, at one point in time, I thought my name wasn't even Pete. I thought my name was, yeah, Pete will do it. I thought that was my name. Any single thing that they needed. Signs got to go up in front of Elm Street. Yeah, Pete will do it. You got to drop off these flyers. Pete will do it. Somebody needs the keys. Pete will do it all the time. But he was grooming me, you guys, to get conditioned to be successful. At the time, I didn't realize it. I said, wow, he's hard on me every day. Every day, from the time I was 21 on, I had to show up at that office by 7:45. I had to wear either a suit, this is East Coast, you guys, suit, polished shoes, or a blazer, dress pants, polished shoes, and a tie. I remember one day I came in at 7:50. He sent me home. Said, you're not on time. I remember another time I rushed there through the snow, 7:40. I'm like, I'm on time. Got my tie, sent me home. I remember one time when I was first starting, I got my first listing appointment. We had no listing presentation. So I put all these numbers together. I'll never forget it. And I go up, and it's a snowy night. And it's across the city, right? Gail would have never went there in a million years. It was more than 10 miles away, right? And I truck up there, and I was driving this old like Bronco, right? That my father and mother continuously told me that they never had a car growing up. And they told me every day how lucky I was to split that car with my two brothers, right? What a great thing. So I drive up there, and it's all dark and everything. And I come up to the door. And I looked down, guys, and right there at the bottom was the daily paper. So I'm like, yeah, it's right. I'll pick it up. Ring the doorbell, boom. Lady comes over. She goes, yeah. I go, hey. She goes, oh, hold on. Shuts the door, leaves. I go, what's going on here? I know I have a confirmed appointment. I'm looking at the house. Yeah, that's the right address. I'm standing there, and I'm freezing, right? It's freezing cold. And she comes, she hands me $2, she grabs the paper and shuts the door. And I go, wow, this is starting off great. I just made $2, right? So I put the $2 in my pocket and knock on the door again. And I said, she goes, yeah. I said, I'm here to sell your house. You want to get your house sold, right? She goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And she said, oh, I thought you were the paper boy. I said, no, I'm here to sell your house. Getting this thing sold. She goes, oh, my husband will be back in 10 minutes. He's running late. I said, not a problem. I'll wait to start my presentation to show you how I'm going to get you the most money in the shortest period of time with the least amount of headaches when he gets here. You guys, I was 21. I looked like I was 14. Okay? I'm dead serious. I just started fully shaving last year. Right? Well, the husband comes in, big plumber guy. Right? Comes in, he's carrying a 12 pack of beer. He's popping beers. He's all pissed off that I'm there. And he's looking at me, he's looking at her. He's like, what's this guy doing here? She's like, oh, I thought he was a paperboy. He goes, paperboy. And the whole time I'm thinking, I already made $2. I'm ahead of the game, right? I already paid for the gas. And the guy says, so why should we pick you? And I tell him, he goes, that's a lot of money. I work hard. I'm cleaning up toilets. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I said, okay, remind me, I'm not going to shake your hand, right? So he tells me all this. We get to the end. And I said, let's get it sold, sign right here. They said, oh, we're meeting with one other guy. It's my first time. I said, what do you mean? Right? When you get in trouble, just say, what do you mean? Nobody understands what it means. They said, well, we're meeting with another guy. I said, I don't understand that. Why would you do that? Right? We're aggressive. We're East Coast people. Gail knows. We don't mean anything by it. It's being authentic. I want to win. I'm not out in the middle of the night to lose. Second place, you lose. You get nothing. And she says, well, this guy's older than you. So what does that mean? She goes, well, he has more experience. I said, how do you know? Right? They end up listing with the guy. This is funny. So they said, oh, we'll let you know tomorrow. I said, so you're not going to sign it? They said, no. I said, well, my fee goes up then if you don't sign it. At this point, I got nothing to lose, right? They're telling me, I mean, I get the plumber with the grubby hands. He's pounding down beers. They're telling me they're not going to sign it. I got nothing to lose. So I leave. She calls me the next day. She goes, hey, listen, we liked you. We decided to go with the other guy. I go, why? She goes, he had gray hair. Gray hair? What are you talking about? She goes, well, he has more experience. I said, how many houses did he sell last year? She said, I don't know. He told me he sold a bunch. He's in the top 1%. I said, that doesn't mean shit. Top 1%. What are you talking about? You want to get the most money for your house, right? Yes. You start asking questions. I said, she goes, we already signed. I said, I'll be at your door in 30 days. I guarantee he's not going to get it done. I'm not going to talk poorly about him, but I'm just going to follow my intuition. And then you're going to give me the listing. I'm going to sell it. And I manifested it. 30 days later, she called me. She goes, you're right on. Come on up. And that was my first listing. All right. And I wanted to share that with you guys because you got to have tenacity. You got to get, people are going to say no a lot. All right. You have to keep pushing forward. Because if you stop, you're never going to get ahead. Or as my father taught me early on, everything you want in life is just outside your comfort zone. Will you push through? Most people won't. They're stuck in their head, you guys. And when you have that question of doubt in your head all the time, right? That creates certain feelings. That creates a certain dialogue, which will spread like a disease to your clients, because your clients will feel your energy. Gail and Val said it best. You have to have confidence. They want somebody to direct them. They want somebody to listen to them. They want somebody on their side. But if you can't get out of your own head, you're going to have a long, hard path in real estate. And that's why most realtors in the first 2 years are out of the business, because there's not really good training and they're not committed. They blame everybody else, right? I couldn't show up. I had to feed my dog. I've heard all the shit. I've heard every excuse in the books, right? It's like the running joke. I say, wait a second, let me guess today. You blew a tire on the way to work. And they go, no. Oh, your dog ate your suit. No. I said, what do you got for me? The surf was up. Okay, you got me, all right. Catch any good waves? All right, were they worth 50 grand? I hope they were, right? So you got to be in that mindset. So I grew up in Brockton, Mass, and I'll go through this pretty quickly so you guys understand, but I am going to tell you one significant story, because roughly 26 years ago, so I was trying to get all my own training. I didn't bitch about it. I took the initiative because I wanted to be great. I wanted to be a rock star in real estate. I wanted to make it my passion. I wanted to help people. It wasn't even about the money, you guys. So everybody close their eyes. We're going to do a little thing. And I know you might say, oh, this is cheesy. Just go with it, please. Just help me out. All right? Close your eyes for just like 30 seconds. And I'm going to paint the picture and try to see if you see this picture. So it's February. It's 1996. I think like NSYNC was in style or something. We had our 15th snowstorm. There were 2 feet of snow on the ground. It was 3 degrees. And I went to a hall just like this. I was sitting in a seat just like you. And a seminar was about to start. And Brian Buffini was coming on stage to teach by referral only. Great guy. And I was sitting in a seat in the audience, and I introduced myself to the person next to me. And the first question he asked me was, how much real estate do you sell? It was my 3rd year in real estate. This is not an ego trip. I'm just going to share with you guys because it's relevant in the story. I'd sold 87 houses. He said to me, well, how many people are on your team? I said, I don't understand the question. He said, well, do you have other team members? I said, no. He said, how many assistants do you have? I said, 0. He said, and you sold 87 houses? I said, well, I actually sold 114, but only 87 closed. And he said, do you have to go to every closing? I said, every closing. He goes, nobody helps you. I said, nobody helps you. He said, so what was your sales volume? I said, well, Mike, my sales volume was, roughly, for that amount on 87 homes, was roughly around 12.4 million. Now, Mike's this good looking guy, has a tan. He's sitting next to me and he says, wow. And he starts laughing in my face, which immediately created a response from me and my friend, where my friend leaned in and said, do you want me to punch him now or later? It's a Bostonian response. And I said, no, let's hear what Mike has to say. So I flipped the script. And I said, Mike, how many houses did you sell? He said, I sold 21. He had this beautiful tan, right? You can recognize that in February. Nobody's tan, everybody's pasty white. And I said, really? So how much volume did you do? All smart ass, I said that. He said, well, I did 39 million. Light bulb, you guys, open your eyes. Right? I was sitting there in shock. I said, where did you do that? He said, Laguna Niguel. I said, where the hell is that? He says, just south of LA. I went, this was a huge epiphany. This changed my path in life. All right, it was tough. So I went home, I had this beautiful house on the golf course I shared with my older brother, who was the assistant DA, who paid me rent, by the way. He told me I was stupid when I bought a house. I said, stick to law. And I stayed up till 2 in the morning and I started writing. And anybody who ever wants to get anything out of life, this is a gold nugget I'm going to give you. Write in future tense. Write out what you want to accomplish and be specific. I wrote.
Wow. What do you guys think? I know I gotta cut it short a little bit because we're running out
That
of
was
time.
really good.
Yeah,
Yes.
we still got like a good 60% of it still left. So I'm assuming that next Monday we can continue where we left off. But what have you guys taken away so far from what Pete has shared with us? What are your takeaways so far?
It's all about mindset.
A lot of it is
What you,
mindset.
what you believe, that's when it's manifest. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to believe that it's gonna happen. If you don't believe it's gonna happen, then it's not gonna happen. True.
His
Absolutely.
confidence.
His confidence. True. Even at 22 years old, he was super confident on his first listing appointment. Super confident. That was great. We don't have confidence in ourselves sometimes. We've been in the business a long time.
Uh-huh.
I like that he manifests what he wants before he gets it.
Yeah, absolutely. Manifesting what you want is not just a wish, guys, because that's one thing I want you guys to take away from this too, is that we can't just wish our way into success. We can't just say, oh, because I believe it's going to happen. That belief has to be married to action. If it's not married to action, then it's just a wish and it's just a dream. Okay, we have to make that reality. So manifesting is the first step. Taking action is the second step, which a lot of people don't talk about because it's not popular. It's more popular to talk about wishing and it happens than it is about working hard and it happens. So yeah, that's the first step, making a decision, right? Making a decision and believing in it.
And the discipline as well that that his father like installed in him.
Yeah, I wish people were still like that. You know, that's awesome. That's a great point, Raquel. You know, the fact that he showed up 5 minutes late, he had to go home, showed up with no tie, had to go home. Like, I love that. That was great. I don't think I'd have the heart to do that to my children. You know, maybe that makes me like not a great dad, but that was, at the moment, I'm sure he hated his dad for that. But now he's looking back and saying, that was a great lesson I learned.
Thank you. Yeah. He was always prepared.
The guy's prepared, yeah. And he
Yeah.
wasn't, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just, you can finish your statement. I just want to say I got 2 big stars next to 2 things that he really said that I got.
Yeah.
Number 1 is I'm never too busy.
Never.
I can say that I've been caught saying that, or, just even, and not saying it to a client, saying it to my family. And the fact is that it came out of my mouth that I'm too busy. So when he said, never say you're too busy, he's just not speaking to clients. He's saying, take that out of your vocabulary, period. Take that out your mindset, period.
Yeah.
And when he said 3rd grader, talk to them like they're a 3rd grader. Most of you know that I homeschool.
Yeah.
3rd graders is 9 and 10 years old. They're very analytical.
Yeah.
So when he talked about the numbers, it makes sense. My children challenged me at 3rd grade all the time. No matter what I said, they wanted to know why.
Yeah.
So when you come at them with the numbers, you pretty much shut all of that down. And now you're saying that you are the expert because you know your area. You're your area expert, and I should be with you.
Yeah, very good. I totally agree. I get carried away sometimes and I talk to people very analytically and I lose them. But if there's one takeaway that I can say that I've learned from in the past from my organization, from the people that I've been working with, it's with Joelle, and what she says is that talk to people like they're dumb, because you have to water it down. Like maybe what she said isn't exactly those words, or maybe she put it a little more eloquently, but exactly what Pete says, talk to people on a 3rd grade level. Because if you try to talk to them at a higher capacity that they're not used to, you lose them all the time. And I see this happening all the time with loan officers when they try to talk to clients and you're listening and you're like, wait a minute, I have a hard time following up with what you're saying. And you're talking to the clients about DTIs and LTVs, and they're like, what are you talking about? Like you kind of have to slow down and talk at a pace and a level that they can understand you at, because if not, they're not going to want to work with you because they don't understand you, and you make them feel inferior. You make them feel like, they're out of the loop in a way. Absolutely. Anyone else?
Yeah, to piggyback on what Belinda said and what he said about being busy and schedule. At the beginning, I used to say the same thing. I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. And then I noticed that people, because we're realtors, they don't really understand that we are business owners. And then in one time, we were in a MICA training, and she said, if you were a surgeon, your parents wouldn't just show up in the middle of a surgery and be wanting to have coffee with you and then get mad because you don't want to.
Exactly.
Or because you can, not because you don't want to. So I started trying to explain people I'm scheduled. And the same thing with having an assistant. A lot of people Hispanic community that they cannot wrap their heads around the fact that we have assistants, and just because I'm sending you to my assistant so she can schedule you because I'm out showing houses and I want to give people 100% of my time, doesn't mean that I'm not working with you. So I started being very firm into those things, and I actually have lost clients, which I don't think I have lost them. I actually had gained time so that I can give to my good clients, the people that do understand, the people that are professional enough, because the people that are just looking to just play around are the people that don't never want to settle it in their head that this is a professional business and we're not just out there, like not doing anything. We're buying homes and we need to give people time. So when I meet them and I explain to them, it's like a bulb comes in their head, you know, like I think like saying it in the phone or through text doesn't work, but when you explain it to them in person, like I'm here with you, how would you feel if I'm on the phone with somebody else? And then they're like, oh, okay. And funny story with my parents, they used to make fun of me like, oh, who do you think you are? Like now we have to make an appointment so we can come to your house, because they literally would be showing up at my house and I'm leaving and then they get mad at me. So this Saturday, my dad calls me and I didn't answer the phone. So I finally put a voicemail message, whatever. So it does say, I'm Ivania with EXP Realty, leave your message, blah, blah, blah. So he makes fun of me in the voicemail, like trying to say the same thing. So he's like, oh, I'm here, like trying to look at houses or whatever, I'm making this, but can I come to your house at 11:30? So he actually made an appointment with me. He was making fun of my message, but he actually made an appointment. So it works.
That's absolutely, that's good. If you don't respect your business, then nobody else is going to respect it either. It takes time for people that have a relationship with us to treat us in a professional manner or respect our business. I've seen a lot of times agents, when they're with their family and they have to step away to get on a computer, or if they have to make phone calls, or if they have to, you know, because when you elect to become a real estate agent, like you said, you're an entrepreneur, which means that you don't have a 9 to 5. You have a whenever your clients need you, or whenever you need to step away to make something happen. But they don't understand that you have to make certain sacrifices for your business, so that one day you don't have to ever worry about those things, because you have that on autopilot, or that's, you know, that's delegated to someone else. But in order to get there, we have to start at the beginning, which means making sacrifices. If your family doesn't understand, it means that they don't want to see you progress. And if you look at Pete's story, Pete Middleton's story, you know, he started off very humble. He started off, you know, not asking any questions about why he had to take out the garbage, why he had to go put up signs, why he had to do the lockbox thing. You know, these are the things that, you know, he had to do in order to get to where he is today, where he's sold over $2 billion in real estate. So ourselves, we have to sometimes sacrifice certain things, such as, you know, walking away for a little bit and taking care of business. And if our families don't respect that, then maybe we need to have a conversation with them, or maybe our friends and family don't understand it. It's probably because we haven't really laid down the law. We haven't explained to them why this is important, or why our business is just as important as their business.
Sorry to interrupt you, Louis, but you actually know this about me. I told you about this. So you do have to have conversations with your family. I've had one with one of my family members, and it's called setting boundaries. It's not a bad conversation. You don't have to be like, listen, this is how it's gonna be. It's pretty much like, listen, I really want to have a relationship with you, but please respect what I value. And if you can't, then unfortunately we have to make a conclusion, which is not be as close as we are. But that's the thing though, it's how you approach it. So you have to approach it in the most loving capacity. And ever since I had that conversation, we've been the closest we've ever been. So again, you have to set boundaries, not just for the other person, but mostly for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, have those uncomfortable conversations, because they do go a long way, and it makes everything else easier by comparison once you have that one tough conversation. Thank you for that, Jolie. Appreciate you sharing. Okay, one thing I want everyone to take away from this meeting is I want you guys to use this during your week. I want you guys to use the line that Pete said, because I think this is a real game changer in everything that you can do. How can I make this meeting the biggest win of your week? Or it doesn't have to be a meeting, right? Or what if it's like an interaction with the loved one that you haven't seen in a while? You know, how can I make your day, you know, the most meaningful day out of the week? Or how can I change your week for the better? That question is so deep and so profound. How can I make this meeting the biggest win of your week? That is so powerful, because it makes people think like, wow, no one has ever asked me that before. I think that's going to stick out in someone's head. So if you go to a listing appointment, or you go to meet with an agent that you want to bring onto your team, or you go and you meet with a possible referral source that's going to, you know, like an accountant or a builder, and you meet with them, and the first thing that comes out of your mouth is, it's a pleasure to meet you, and I just wanted to ask you a question before we get started. How can I make this meeting the biggest win of your week? That's going to take your conversation into a whole different direction, because a lot of times people are like, you know, what do you want from me? Because that's where you want to meet with people, right? Like, what are you looking to get from me? But what if you switch the tables and you just said, well, what can I do for you to make your week the biggest, and how can I make this meeting the biggest win of your week? That was so powerful. There's a bunch of other things I took away from this, like the busy thing. if we keep saying busy, 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 we're conditioning our own mind to think that we're too busy. And when we're too busy, we're not only too busy to take on things that are busy work, we're also too busy to take on blessings. So, you know, that's something that we're blocking as well if we're always too busy, too busy, too busy. I love the question which he explained to us that he gets all the time is, why should I hire you? If you don't know why someone should hire you, that's what you should work on. What's your unique sales proposition? Why would someone why would somebody want to work with you? And I love how he handled that question, because it's just like we've always talked about before. I'm so glad you asked that question. That's a great question. He cushioned before he answered. So he made the other person feel like he wasn't uncomfortable about being asked that. That was super powerful. And real estate equals relationships. I think everything is relationships, not just real estate, business in general, agent attraction, you know, listings. It's all about relationships. Sarah got that listing because of her relationship she built with that guy. You know, she was able to talk to him with confidence because of the relationship she built with him. So yeah, guys, I mean, after a while, you've been in real estate, you're building relationships whether you know it or not. So use those to your advantage. All right, we've gone over again, like we usually do, but I appreciate everyone's time and thank you for being here. If you guys have any friends or any people that you think would benefit from these meetings, please invite them to every Monday. We're here at 9 o'clock. And if you can't catch them for whatever reason, guys, we have on YouTube Culture University. You can go there. I always put these there, as well as it being on Facebook. So you guys can check out Facebook Culture State, or you guys can go to Culture University on YouTube. You can watch these replays. So thank you everyone for being here.
Louis, if I could just jump in just for.
Brent, you're here. I didn't know you were here. You're so quiet.
Yeah, I'm here. I just wanted to, I don't know if Claudia Aldave is still here, but I wanted to introduce to you all one of the newest members of EXP. So
Yeah.
Claudia, if you're there, you can just show your camera if you want to, but we just want to say welcome to you, Claudia.
She's here.
Hi, everybody. Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Claudia.
Hi. Nice to meet you guys.
No, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. And thank you, Brent, for inviting Claudia.
You're welcome. Claudia, we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Thanks,
you very much.
Louis.
No
Thanks,
problem.
Louis. Appreciate it.
All right, let's go ahead and close out with our prayer. Dear Lord, Father in heaven, we thank you for having us here today. Father, we thank you for the health and abundance you have given us in our life. And we ask you, Father, forgive us for anything that we have done that has not been in your ways. Father, we ask you to guide us and help us with our business, Father, because after all, Father, you are our partner in everything we do in life. And all the glory goes to you for any wins and successes that we've had or we're about to have this week. And Father, we ask you to allow us to take away this information that we were given today and allow us to apply it to our business, Father, so we can bless the lives of those around us and the people who need it most. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you, everyone. Have an amazing day, amazing week.
Amen.
Thank you, Lou.
Take care, guys.
Louis, this was a great way to start the Monday.
Thank you, Raquel.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lou. Have a great week.
You too, guys. Bye-bye.